Hey guys, welcome back. So here I have I'm in Nuke and I'm gonna read in the frames. I have two renders and I have one file for the EEX for the cryptomat. It's a different frame, but I'll show the concept even though it doesn't match. So let's import the first frame, and once we turn on all those AUVs that I showed in Mantra, so here if we go to image planes, we turn on direct lighting, indirect lighting, combined emission. It's going to give us all these AUVs. So I'm going to go through them. I have a script that does an auto shuffle, but I'm going to show the shuffling process. So we want to view here the AUV. So simply create a shuffle node, and then shuffle the channel I want to see in the RGBA. So direct emission and so on and so forth. And I have a script here called auto shuffle that you can find in Nukepedia, and these are all the AUVs. So here you can see the name. This is all emissions, and this is the ground geometry with the noise underneath the ocean. It's being plugged, it goes into the emission because it doesn't have any shader or anything. This is the diffuse component, the direct diffuse. This is the direct reflection, which is the reflection of the environment light. But if we had another geometry here, we wouldn't see the reflection of that. That would be in a separate pass. The direct refract is empty. The volume, and this is because we're using a volume shader, this is where the points or the foam will go into. And this is very, very handy because we don't have to do any separate passes. We get this for free. Indirect diffuse, because we turned on the indirect, we set the diffuse depth to 1. Sorry. And let's do this. I want to group the diffuse by itself. So this is the diffuse. This is the emission, we'll leave that. This is the refract, and this is empty, so I don't need this. This is the volume, and this is the indirect reflect, and this goes with the reflection. So if we have, this is the reflection of any light, and this is the reflection of any geometry, including the ocean itself, and this is what it looks like. So this bit is the ocean itself is reflecting. The ocean is reflecting itself, and this is all the reflection with the splash as well. Okay, and then we have indirect refract, and this is the refraction, and we don't have anything else for that. And this is the indirect volume. So the way this works is we have diffuse, so I'm gonna combine them by adding a merge node. I'm gonna use a plus mode, so everything needs to be plus together. And let's continue. So these two, we're gonna plus them together. And these two as well. And the indirect refract is gonna go, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't have any other information. So let's do this. Let's combine everything that is ocean related. So let me move this here. So we have a diffuse. We can, let's start with the reflection first. And let's add the refraction to it. That's a plus. And then let's add the diffuse. And that's also a plus. Everything pretty much is a plus. And then we have the emission. Let's move the volume over there. And you can see the green color. This is from the underneath ground geometry. So that's a plus. And then we have the volume. So let's merge that as well. And use a plus mode. And now we have our paths combined. This should be 100% identical. And you can see I'm swapping back and forth between the two, and everything is matching perfectly. So let's say we wanted to change, for example, the amount of indirect, or let's do this. Let's say we wanted to change the amount of direct diffuse. I'm going to go to the direct diffuse here and simply gain this up, and we can increase the gamma, so we have more of this underneath effect. And we can also increase the indirect diffuse. Let's do something like this. I'm gonna put down a hue shift node, and so this is with just tweaking the diffuse. And we can change the hue of these colors. Let's desaturate them a bit. I think it's too much, but I'm just illustrating here what's happening. Let's try give this indirect reflection a tint. So this pass, let's give it a tint. Something like this. It's too much, but I think you guys will do a much better job. And I'm gonna put a grade here and gain this. I want to make these glow a bit more pronounced. I think that's too much. And we can also shift the hue of this pass. Something like that. And then the foam. And you can see how nice it is here. It looks very, very natural to have these kind of effects in there. One thing I'm not sure if Igor will agree, but we can try something. I'm gonna take this pass, I'm gonna gain it up just so we have more, something like that. I'm gonna give it a different color, something like that. I'm gonna blur it. And let's add it on top of everything just to give this a bit more room and to expand it a bit. So I'm plussing that, and let's see how this looks. So with and without, basically looking for this effects. And let's take a look at the final. Yeah, we could add some glow in there. Okay, so let's see. So for this part, a lot of reference, they have like a nice yellow or gold of the sun hitting the foam. So let's try adding a small tint of yellow in here, and let's gain them up. Something like that. It's too much, but I think you guys get the idea. Yeah, I think if I had the whale, let's see frame 120, maybe it has the whale. Sorry, 1200. No, it doesn't have the whale. But the glow is really nice, so it's working. I think this is too much. Something like this should work. And I think that's pretty much it in terms of color correction. We could add some overall color correction to the whole image if we wanted to do that, but I think I'll leave this to you guys. I wanted to show how you can tweak all the AUVs. Yeah, I think this tint works with this lighting, something like this. And I think the ocean could be brighter as well. Maybe something like this even. Okay, and that's it. The the main thing I wanted to show how to break the AVs and combine them to match the original result, and then from there you can do whatever you want. Now, a very important thing is with these passes we've lost the alpha channel, and to copy it back from the original render, I'm going to use a shuffle copy node, and I don't have to change anything, just the default settings works fine. So we don't have to do anything special there, and I have restored the alpha channel, and that's very, very important. Now we also did a cryptomat mask, and I'm going to load in the file itself, and I've installed the cryptomat plugin. Let's see. So I'm going to use a cryptomat node, and I'm going to it's using colors right now to visualize this, but I'm interested in masks. So I'm going to click here and then pick the whale, and now I have a mask for the whale that is based on the material, and that's how cryptomat works. So let's call this whale mask, and then I'm gonna pick the foam. I don't need that, so I just need the foam, and I'm gonna create a new node, and this is for the ocean. And now we have the ocean mask, and we can use these to do any kinds of color correction. So let's say we had the same frame here as our render. It's not the case, but let's say if it was the case, we can select this, and let me shuffle. So I want to shuffle the alpha channel, and then inside the mask I can say RGB.red. And if we look at this pass, I can now color correct the ocean separately from everything else. So that's how you use the cryptomat basically to generate mask. And this is for the foam, this is for the whale, and this is for the ocean. And I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this week, and talk to you next week. Bye bye.